JTrain podcast. JTrain, Jared Freid, coming to you live from the West Village of Manhattan. That's right. Every Monday, we take your emails, we read your stories, we try to give you some perspective. I'm so excited to have you as a listener. I hope you guys enjoy this show as much as I enjoy putting it out there. I want you to keep sharing, telling a friend, a coworker, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa, anyone you'd like about this great show. It is a gift. This show is a gift. You put it on, we take your brain and you put it on the shelf and you let my guests and I take the wheel. What's better than that? And you can send in your issues, whatever you're dealing with, jtrainpodcast@gmail.com, jtrainpodcast@gmail.com. By the time this comes out, I got shows, okay? People, I want you to come to the shows. I'm going to Europe. If you know someone in Europe, if you're in Europe, if you're there, assemble the group chat, get everyone together, let's party, let's have some laughs. It's going to be a great time. I'm very excited. I'm also coming to Austin, Texas. That's right. This just got added to the calendar, so if you're in Austin, assemble the group chat once again. Let the people know. Sing it from the rooftops. JTrain is coming to town. Let people know. So, jaredfreid.com for tickies. I'm very excited about today's guests. Returning to the podcast, I loved having them on the first time. I'm so excited they're back. Hilarious comic, has a special that is out on YouTube right now called That's Wild. Paris Sashay, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
How are you? It's funny you see people on the internet and you just assume they're where you saw them before. So I I see you at the Comedy Cellar. Everyone needs to follow
Right.
Paris. Is so funny at Paris Sashay. But then it's not like I'm like, we don't keep up. So I was like, where are you? And you said you're in D.C. I didn't realize you'd been living in D.C. for like the last year and a half.
Yeah, because I feel like I pop in New York so much that people still don't know because I didn't do like a grand entrance on leaving or coming. So it's just like, Paris is here. And then you might randomly see me on a Tuesday. And
Right.
Like, you don't live here. New York it's really up the street.
If you're in Philly, D.C., Boston, people come in and out of New York, as if it's their second home. And especially for comedy, it's like, oh yeah, I'll pop up on a Tuesday. And our schedules are just so weird. Like a Tuesday's kind of the weekend.
Right. A Tuesday is a good day.
Right.
So I've been here, but I've been there as well. So I just feel like as long as there's an airport, I can be wherever I need to be, whenever I need to be.
I'm with you. I mean, I think about that a lot where it's like, I do that with my family lives in Boca in Florida. And it's like, I'll be down there and I'll fly from there to wherever I'm going. Like, who cares? It doesn't matter.
Right.
And now with Zoom, and you're here with me over Zoom for those that are watching on YouTube, we can do this anytime. Right now, you and I were catching up on a Friday, getting a podcast done.
Right, a Friday morning before we get the party started. So It's a good day. No worries. Everything is good. Just ready to give these people good, necessary advice.
I love following you on Instagram because there's always, I think everyone needs to follow Paris Sashay on Instagram and TikTok at Paris Sashay. I love following you because sometimes it feels like you can say things that I want to say myself. Like, because, and it's always funny. There's always something you're posting where it's like, don't like you'll be dating someone and you're like, and you're just calling people out in a way that I'm jealous of. Are you seeing anybody? What's going on?
I'm seeing multiple people. I started this thing where I've started being honest to let them know that I'm seeing multiple, and they don't want the truth. So it's hard.
Hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt, because even you saying as comfortably as you just said, I'm seeing multiple people is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it is like, I'm not looking to be mean to people, but you're like, I'm seeing multiple people. And if they're out there and you have to deal with that, you deal with that.
Yes. It's funny because a lot of men always say that, like my Instagram. I feel like I say the things that men want to say, but then it'll come off as wrong if a man says. So I feel like I just speak for the people altogether.
There's like, you know how they have the person doing sign language? Like, I need you next to me doing, talking to women I'm dating.
Just reading your mind and letting women know. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I feel like
it's hard.
We are in a place when it comes to dating that people try to just date one person. I feel like you don't really know. Like, if you have your heart and your mind set out on, like, this is my person, I want this to be my person, sure, go for it. But if you're just dating, why not leave the options open? Because then if the person that you're really wanting, they could have multiple people. Now, when they choose other people, you're left alone.
Right. We are all vulnerable in this game. Like, if you want to play the game, you're going to get hurt, and it goes both ways. And I know in my heart of hearts, I'm not doing anything wrong, you know, and I'm speaking right now as if I have something to hide. I'm just saying, like, I'm out there dating. I'm single. I had this happen recently. I have a first date set up. I also have a third date set up. Mm-hmm. You know, you have this moment of, like, you know, you play the "Am I the asshole?" on Reddit. You go, you know, what would the third date person think of the first date? But also there's class in keeping things to yourself. You're not going to go to the third date person and go, "Hey, just letting you know tonight is reserved for the first date." You know, and we all know this is happening, but we also don't want to have to hear it from people. There's a way to kind of, like, keep it to yourself in a certain sense.
Right. But then the problem is people say that they want the truth. So there's this woman I'm dating, and we've been dating for a while, maybe a year. But the thing is, I let everyone know I do not want a relationship. I feel like some people don't be honest, and it's like you can spend this time and create these moments and memories, and you're leading up to something. I personally do not want a relationship right now. I make that very clear.
You know what's so funny about that is you go, we've been dating a year. I don't want a relationship. I'm seeing multiple people. And that person that you're with a year, they can either choose to believe you, which they should. It's like, these are the words I'm telling you. I'm not saying it for no reason. But a lot of times they go, yeah, right. And you're like, no. I everything I'm saying is completely true. Please take me at my word. And they're like, oh, you don't want a relationship, but it's me. And you're like, yeah, you're you. This is why I'm saying this to you. Please listen. You know, you feel like a crazy person.
Yes, that's exactly what you feel like. So I said to myself, I'm going to do this new thing where I just be honest. And whatever happens, happens. Because the idea of, like, meeting other people, because I am fully single. Yes. So I don't think that I should not be able to date. And I feel like if I only date you, that's giving you the idea that I do want something that I'm saying that I don't.
Right. And there's there's something that people value in that. You know, they go, okay, everything's on the table. I trust this person because what they're saying is kind of uncomfortable to say.
Right.
Right. I love that. I mean, I that's what this podcast is all about. Hard truths, telling people, listen, I hear you. You're not crazy, but here's the hard truth that you need to hear right now. And I want everyone to go follow Paris. We're going to get to the emails, jtrainpodcast@gmail.com, at Paris Sashay on both TikTok and Instagram. Okay, the special, it looks great. It's wonderful. You're hilarious. It's 38 minutes. It's on YouTube right now. It's called That's Wild. Where did you tape it? Why is it called That's Wild?
I taped it in DC. So I taped it at High Bed Comedy Club. It's like a fairly new comedy club in DC. And it's called That's Wild because there's a lot of wild things that's been said on that. It's a lot of honest truth. And I feel like some of the things I say may cause some problems, or people may be like, wow, I can't believe she said that. So it's like, that's wild that I even said it. So I was like, perfect name, because it's wild, some of the things I say.
It's great. I'm telling you right now, we have a lot of people that come on this show. They're like, go watch the special. I have such a fun time watching Paris on stage. You're going to love it. It's a great date night. It's a great night on the couch. It's it's Sunday. It's Sunday morning. You're hungover. Open up the computer. Watch Paris at Paris Sashay. It's called That's Wild. It will be in the description of this episode. Are you ready to do some emails?
Let's do it.
Love it. So, jtrainpodcast@gmail.com. Corner shop crush. Okay. Jared, Scottish widow here. Needs some advice from a guy's perspective about how to play it with a guy I have a crush on at a local corner shop. This sounds like it's out of a rom-com. She's a widow from Scotland. Need a guy's advice about how to play with a guy at the local corner shop. Like, who even... In what world is it, not CVS, Walmart, and,
I feel like this is a real particular store that she needs advice for. It's at the corner shop.
I totally agree. The shop is just across from my house. I have a huge crush on this guy. He's not conventionally attractive, but there's something about him that I find really endearing. And his voice makes me moist every time I hear it. He's 26. I'm 33. He came up on my Tinder the other day after me admiring him from afar for a while. But no match. After research, I've worked out that he wouldn't have seen me on there if I'm out of his age range. So he might have swiped left, but might not have seen me at all. He's a wrestler, works out at the same gym as me. We have the same personal trainer, so I follow his wrestling account on Instagram. As I always see his posts being shared by our physical trainer. Personal trainer, physical PT. She wrote PT. Personal trainer. Physical trainer. I don't know what that is. He doesn't follow me back. He only seems to post about wrestling shows. How do I play this? Message him on Instagram, slip him a note at the shop. Do I just leave it? I don't want to approach him at the gym as it's not when I'm looking my best. Do I mention seeing him on Tinder or plead ignorance? I'm not looking for anything serious, so I don't think the age gap should be a huge issue unless he's looking to settle down and get married. Let's be honest, though, he's a 26-year-old guy, so it's not likely that's his main priority. If I do approach him and bomb, it'll be impossible to avoid him as we live in a small town. Any advice on this would be much appreciated. Thanks. So what do you think, Paris Sashay?
That's a lot. Because she's done her research. So, like, she really...
Research has been done. She also signed it, thanks Scottish widow. So the death, that's when someone brings something up twice, you're like, okay, you really want us to know where you are in life, which, listen, I'm sorry for your loss and I'm not minimizing that, but I'm like, okay, this person is looking to get back in the game after tragedy. So
yes.
And she's in this little town. I would assume comfort is paramount because when you feel uncomfortable, you think of your discomforts and you think of sadness and you think of your husband that passed away. So I could understand where you're like, I have this setup with the little shop and the personal trainer and the wrestling guy. So it does feel like she's being a little precious with this, but you're right. She has thought this through.
She started through. So then my next question, she said she wasn't looking for anything serious, correct?
Nothing serious. This feels very, I need to get back in the game instead of crying about my dead husband.
And it's clear that it's him that she wants. She knows his Instagram account. She's watched them. They have people in comment. I think what's the worst test that can happen? I think she should go for it. I don't think in person. But then it's kind of going to be weird if she tell him she's seen him on Tinder. Because then it's like, okay, how much research did you do on me?
Right. She's on the doorstep of creepy. She's not creepy yet. Yeah. She's right.
She's in the window of creepy. She's in the window.
Waving in the window. She's literally like, because everything she's done to this point is totally normal. It's like, okay, we've all seen someone we know on Tinder. We've swiped right and gotten no response and then saw them on Instagram and been like, should I message and let them know that I saw them? Maybe they didn't see me, but they probably did. I followed them. They didn't follow me back. We have the same trainer. I see them all the time. Like, here's what she has to keep in mind. One, this person has had opportunity to approach you. Yes. I know that's hard to like digest, but like, let's just acknowledge this person has had opportunity to approach you, to come up to you and say, hey, I think you're hot. Let's go on a date. So the stakes aren't so high because I do think like it's okay to let this one go after, but you do have to get it out of your system. I agree. Mentioning I saw you on Tinder, not necessary.
Right. But he's also 26. So at 26, he's not even thinking what she's thinking about. And she said he loves wrestling. Like he has his mind set on something. He's busy.
Listen, I would agree. He probably didn't see. He may have seen her on Tinder, but he probably didn't. 33 to a 26-year-old is like, oh, she wants nothing to do with me. I don't really think of that. And not that she's old. It's just you're 26. You're probably setting your parameters to like 29 to 22.
Right.
Like it's so. And also, here's the thing she has on her side: casual. She is looking for something fun to get her out of Widow Town. And guys are attracted to that. Guys are attracted to low stakes. So I think I'm with you. I don't think it's in person. I think it won't be uncomfortable depending on how you write it. I think she has to slide in the DMs. I think you have to acknowledge we have the same trainer. That's how I found you. So now here's how I got led to your window. It's not that creepy because the trainer brought me to your window. So now it's, hey, I see you all the time at the gym. We have the same trainer. That's how I started following you. So now you've acknowledged, how did I get here? I think you seem a lot of fun. I'm looking to go out and have fun. You want to mention I'm looking to go out and have fun. Would love to get a drink sometime if you're up for it. Here's my number. And you got to, again, he's 26, he's young, he's immature. You have to make this very easy on him.
Yes.
Also, you haven't confessed your love. You're not saying, I think you look hot. All of this stuff is very easy to make eye contact with him the next day if he doesn't get back to it. Because all you did is say, you're fun, and I'm looking to have fun.
Right. And I think the worst case that can happen, even if he doesn't, I feel like it seems like all the research that she's done, he's a pretty nice guy. So I think even if he's not into it, he would just let her know on an easy path. It wouldn't be like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym today because I don't want to see the guy who turned me down. I don't think it would be like that. Right.
And I don't think that and listen, life is hard. This person knows life is hard. Their husband or wife, someone passed away in their life. So you're going to be okay. You've survived something much harder than cute guy at the corner store who didn't take me up on my drinks offer. And when you put it in and I just want to go back to this. When you put it in the, you look fun, I'm looking to have fun. That actually saves you that like puts a wall up on vulnerability because you're not going, I've been pining for you for 7 weeks and ever since I left the wake, I've been thinking of you. Puts it in a very specific zone.
Yes, and her letting him know that they have the same personal trainer. I think that also creates the respect that won't make it weird because it's like, we're in this together. Even if we're apart, we're in this together because we have a mutual.
Totally agree. And it also offers a little safety. Like, hey, don't be a dick because the trainer's going to find out.
Right. Like, that's the savior in the whole thing. So I feel like she should go with it.
Absolutely. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Here with Paris Sashay. Go follow immediately at Paris Sashay on Instagram and TikTok. The special is called That's Wild. It's on YouTube in the description of this episode. Now, this is a reverse on what we just heard. You ready?
Let's go.
Restaurant owner likes me on Bumble. Jared, I love your show. You never fail to make me laugh. So I went to dinner with one of my girlfriends a couple weeks ago. We went to this new restaurant she saw on Instagram, wanted to try. We went to the restaurant and the food was amazing. However, while we were there, we had a couple of instances that were a little odd. First, our waiter brought us bread that wasn't complimentary and no one around us had this bread. We ate the bread and we didn't really think too much about it. Next, the bartender came over with drinks and said the drinks were a sample of what would be on the spring menu. The drinks were so good. But again, no other table had these drinks. I saw this man walking around who looked like a manager or the owner, and I started putting things together. I recognized him from Bumble. He liked me a while back, but I never matched with him because I didn't think he was my type. Turns out he's super cute in person, and I'm thinking he recognized me too and was behind the bread and drinks. A few days later, I found him on Insta and followed him, and he quickly followed me back. He didn't message me, though. I decided to get back on Bumble, and within a few days, he popped up on my Bumble, and he had super swiped me. Are you familiar with the super swipe?
That's like is that the one you pay for? Like that's like sending a rose almost?
Right. It's a little bit. It's Rose like on Hinge. I don't know the super swipe as much, but I do know. I understand it is an elevated.
Yeah.
I'm letting you know. I'm tapping on the window saying, "Hey, I want to fuck you." I matched with him and messaged him, and he responded once, and then after I responded a second time, nothing. The next day, I went to check the app again, saw his Bumble account had been deleted. What the fuck? I went to see if he would still follow me on Insta, and he is. I'm just wondering what the fuck. LOL. I want a man's perspective on this. Thanks. What do you think, Paris Sashay?
I think that he likes her, but I think he made it so clear up front. Now he's playing the game. I think now he's matching her energy with playing the game.
I hate that. Don't you hate that? I don't like when someone pursues and then you go, hey, and then they're like, oh, you talking to me? And you're like, what the fuck?
But he pursued and she ignored.
Right.
So I don't think that he expected to see her in the restaurant. So that was still his way of saying, I still like you. Send her things without her even knowing where it's coming from, because that was going to leave her with a question mark, like, why am I receiving this from who?
Right. Well, I mean, it is pretty fortuitous that she even followed up on all of this at all. He literally created a detective case for her to unlock. Like, if in my opinion, the what he should have, like, I'm looking at what he did, and I'm like, it kind of annoys me because it's like you send the bread, you send the drinks, and you're just looking around the corner. Like,
but he didn't know. Will he get rejected again? Because she already ignored him. But
at that point, you go, you've made this move of sort. You've made a half move. Like, for then, like in a world where no social media exists, and I know that's not a real world scenario now, but what if Tinder didn't exist? What if Instagram didn't exist? Like, was his plan to send her drinks and bread, hope that she recognizes him from months prior? Like,
right.
The fact that this worked out for him is insane to me.
Yeah, he should have, at the point that she realized it was him, that was his move. He should have made his mark right then and there, but I think he was nervous still.
Right.
So he left it in her hands to see, okay, what are you going to do next? I super swiped you. I sent you drinks and bread. It's on you now.
Right. And to me, what is his thinking? To me, it's devious, actually. When you make someone have to walk 7 steps towards you because of the 1 step you took towards them, like you're basically getting them in. It's to me, this is like a sales technique, like where he's like, say yes to me so many times that when we hook up, it's you approached me and that's how it all happened. It's your fault this didn't work out. It's your fault. Well, you came after me. Like, to me, there's a like my advice to her is like, when do you get turned off by the behavior? Like, I wonder when, because if it were me, what I would have done, if I really like someone, if I really thought, if someone was super swipeable in my eyes,
right.
whatever that means, I'm sending the bread, I'm sending the drinks, and then I'm coming over and going, hey, that was from me. I think you're cute. I mean, this is easier advice to give than to do. Like, I do understand this is hard, but like, hey, that was for me. Or I slip a note like that's like, hey, I don't know if you recognize me, but I actually swiped you on Bumble before. I sent you the stuff. I'm the manager here. Here's my number. Take with it. Do what you will. And if that's where you go, like, what are we doing here if not that? Do you know what I mean? And I do understand, like, totally the nervousness that goes along. And it's like, okay, well, when is someone too nervous? When is someone so nervous that it dries you out? When do you get unattracted to this behavior?
I think she'll get unattracted to. I think this might be the final strike.
Right, it's writing into us.
I reached back out to you. We responded to each other, and then we're still on Instagram. A number hasn't been sent yet. At this point, it's like maybe she ignored him because she was preventing all of this from happening to begin with.
Right, and I do think at some point in every, just like we said with the the widow, and with this person, there has to be a moment where you go, ta-da, I like you.
Right.
You need a moment, and if no one does that, because right now these are two people that are all, poking their head out from behind the bushes. Ooh, I like you. Super swipe you. Here's some bread. Here's some new drinks from the spring. At some point, someone has to go, hey, I put themselves in a position to be turned down. Yes. And he has not done that yet. And again, it could be, and she asked what's going on. I think I agree with you. I think it's nerves. In my opinion, I think it's this guy trying to get you to be the pursuer so that when it ends, he is not blamed for having pursued you and convinced. Because a lot of times, and you'll date women where they'll go, why'd you even pursue me to dump me?
Right.
And
why'd you waste my time? So I agree. Because she said he is hot. She said when she seen him, he was hot. So then it also makes me question, since it was a few months ago, maybe he has other women or new women.
I think he's got
maybe it's like he's still trying to stay in her, like still stay in a pot of her, but he's still dabbing and doing what else he's doing.
Well, this is a great point you bring up, because there's two versions of this guy. There's oh my God, I'm just so nervous and she's so beautiful and like, what am I going to do? What if she turns me down? That's one guy, which I don't think there are as many of those as maybe people believe. And then there's, I'm just trying to fuck and I'm fucking these other chicks and I don't want you to think I like you too much, because then when we end after fucking, it might ruin my other things going on. Like, I think he's closer to that side of the spectrum than nervous Ned,
Yeah, I would agree. Now that we fully explained the story, I think so. I think it is that idea of, I didn't waste your time, you came on to me. So he's playing the game correctly to reel her in, but then he's making sure that he doesn't reel her in too much. And that's what's questioning her. And I think he's getting a thrill out of her and not being able to put her finger on it.
Right. And you mentioned the rose on Hinge, which is like, we're assuming is similar to the super swipe. When I see someone give me the rose on Hinge, it's so strange how I'm like, well, I can't just accept the rose because this person likes me enough where I do think like this guy. I go, I can't accept the rose because I'm not into it. Like, I would like on them with, in another world with no rose, I would like them because I would go, they're cute, they seem cool, we'll see what happens. When they offer me the rose, like the super swipe, you go, ooh, I have to be a little bit more, precious with this because now I'm saying I know you like me and I might take advantage of that knowledge. So there's and what I'm trying to get at is just that these super swipes are sometimes manipulative. They're sometimes trying to send a message. The messages are sent. It's easy to say, well, it means nothing. That's what the most annoying person says. Everything means something.
Right. I agree.
Get ready for springtime with Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. If you want nutritious, chef-prepared meals, look no further. They're delivered straight to your door so you can tackle whatever life throws at you, knowing that your next meal is in good hands. I love Factor. 2 reasons. Creativity and portions, okay? If you're out there looking to get healthy, it's probably a matter of portion control, and you want to cook for yourself, and then you go do grilled chicken, and then you do grilled chicken again, and then you do salmon, and then you go back to grilled chicken, and you go, I'm out of ideas, and you lose your way. Factor is a great way to keep it creative and keep the portions right. Look and feel your best in time for warmer weather with calorie-smart meals around 550 calories or less. Factor now offers 34 meal options per week and over 3 dozen add-on options like sweets, smoothies, juices, and so much more. Not only is Factor cheaper than takeout, these meals are ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes. Head to factormeals.com/JTrain50 and use code JTrain50 for 50% off your first box. That's code JTrain50 at factormeals.com/JTrain50 to get 50% off your first box. Get your own personal stylist without ever leaving home. Stitch Fix is the easy way to get clothes that fit you, full stop. Just answer a few questions like where you typically get your clothes from, what you like to wear, and your price range. Here's the main part of that I love, without ever leaving home. That's right, your mirrors, your mirrors, your mirrors. You can take a look at the clothes and how they fit and how they look. You know, sometimes you're in a store and you're like, I want to see this. Sometimes I'll be trying something on in the store and I'm like, can I leave here to see how this looks in broad daylight? Stitch Fix lets you do that. I have done that. I love what they do. And they get you out of your comfort zone. You might not have picked the things that Stitch Fix picks for you. With sizes extra small through 3XL, they'll find your perfect fit and send you clothes handpicked just for you with over 1,000 brands. So it's not like 10 brands, 1,000. And styles you know and love. Stitch Fix sets you up so all you have to do is get dressed and go. This is it. Right now, Stitch Fix is offering my listeners $20 off their first fix at stitchfix.com/JTrain. That's stitchfix.com/JTrain for $20 off today. stitchfix.com/JTrain. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Here with Paris Sashay at Paris Sashay, the special. That's wild, hilarious. It's on YouTube. Go, go, go. Bridal party problems. I love a bridal party problem. A BPP. Dear Jared, I'm a huge fan. Listen to all your podcasts religiously. Have been to one of your stand-up shows. You were / are hilarious. Well, thank you. I heard your recent request for lifestyle questions, and I'm here to answer the call. Here's my situation. My fiance and I got engaged a few months ago. I have been diligently planning our wedding ever since. Everything is going well except for one thing. I'm very torn about who to choose to be in my bridal party. Actually, I am torn over one particular person. I am fortunate enough to have a wonderful group of friends, a sister and a sister-in-law to be who will be bridesmaids at my wedding. However, I have one friend from college who used to be one of my closest friends, but I am hesitating to ask her to be one of my bridesmaids. Here are some reasons. She made a scene during my best friend's wedding weekend by stirring up drama with the mother-in-law and best man, which resulted in the bride crying in the fetal position. Seriously, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's. I already got a red flag up. Let's hit the next one.
She openly dislikes one of the other bridesmaids and has asked why when I mentioned I'm hanging out with her. She tried to kick several of my friends out of my birthday party last year without my knowledge, and I only found out because those friends told me later on what happened. We were upset about it. It's relevant to mention these friends will be bridesmaids of mine too. All of that being said, there was truly a time when I would have 100% imagined her being by my side on my big day. She was there for me during a lot of tough times, has always been supportive of my relationship with my fiance, for which I'm very grateful. We even used to joke about that she would give. We used to joke that she would give a speech at my hypothetical wedding one day. Although we haven't been that close for a few years now, I have a feeling she is expecting me to ask her to be a bridesmaid, and I haven't been able to work up the courage to tell her I don't want to include her. I could just not mention it to her at all, but she will figure it out via social media, and I think that would hurt more. Sadly, I can't imagine a reality in which including her doesn't cause unnecessary drama and stress to my other bridesmaids and me. So JTrain, an esteemed guest, what should I do? What's the best way to let her know I'm not going to include her? Is there any kind way to do this? Thanks a million. 99 problems and a bridesmaid might be one. Love that sign. Paris, what do you think?
Hilarious. Wow. Number one, I do not think she should be invited. I feel like
invited.
As people, no, invited. I don't think she should be included. She can be invited, but I don't think she should be included. Now, I think he's going to have to. It's going to hurt no matter how you say it, because it's just one of those things that she's already expecting it. But I feel like it sounds like she's a problem starter. And you don't want to put yourself second to put her first to include her, and then everything goes bad. And then you feel like, I knew this would happen. Right.
And, there's ways where you go, there's some people who make their bridal party smaller just to avoid someone, we see this in the comedy world. here's what happens. In the comedy world, you see a show or you see a poster from a show and you look at the lineup and you go, you level yourself against the lineup. And you go, if that person's included, why wouldn't I be included? Right. And people do this with the bridal party. So sometimes they go, well, if that friend's in the bridal party, why wouldn't I? And that's where the troubles come up. So some people literally go, it's just me and my sisters and my future sister-in-law. That's it. Because now no one can go, well, if the sister's in, it's blood only, so you get around this. This person, it seems the decision has already been made on who's in the bridal party. It seems they've decided this person is not going to be in. And she has literally a resume for why she's not in.
A full spreadsheet of why not. I think she should sit down with her and have a conversation. Maybe go to lunch, but I feel like she should just be as open as she can be, as honest as it can be, and understand that I don't think no way that she words it will make the girl feel good. But at the end of the day, I think she also needs to bring up everything she did to let her know why she can't allow her to ruin her day. Because it's already people in there she don't get along with.
Right. You think bring up these other things.
I mean, I think if she don't bring them up, I think the girl will bring them up. Because now the girl's going to be in defense mode. No matter how she put it, she'll be in defense. She'll
go, well, why? Why wouldn't I? And then you have to say, well, you made a scene in the other wedding you went to. Like, these are reasons enough. She made a scene during my best friend's wedding weekend by stirring up drama with the mother-in-law and best man, which resulted in the bride crying in the fetal position. That's a story that gets you uninvited from the wedding.
Period.
Never mind the bridesmaids.
That's what I'm saying, but you're still invited. You just can't be a bridesmaid because of the things that you've done prior. What did she do at her birthday party?
She tried to kick out several of my friends. That's without crazy.
Without her even knowing.
Right. Hey, so and this is the problem with talking with everyone about your future wedding and your dream wedding. Like, the idea that, because you have kind of already there's a reason to talk about this with her, because you go, hey, I want to get in front of something because I don't want you finding out via a social media post. That's how you started.
Yes.
We have talked about my future wedding in the past. Think you're one of my close friends, even though we don't talk a lot anymore. I will forever hold you in a close place in my heart. I'm not including you in the bridesmaid list. I made the decision because these people are people I've been close with lately, and I hope that doesn't make you... I hope you can understand, plain and simple. When she says why, if she's delusional, she knows why, and she goes, well, why? I would say, listen, the last wedding you were in ended with a woman crying on the floor of her own wedding. You tried to kick out a few friends from my birthday party. I've kind of looked over these things, but I'm trying to keep the peace in this already difficult situation that is planning a wedding. I think that's the way to go.
Yes.
And if she can't take that, listen, I know people who have been taken out of the bridesmaid party. You don't want to put someone in that you have to take out. And right. I think to her, you just say, I can't wait to have you a part of my day, but this is the way I want you a part of it.
Yes. I think that sounds good. I think right. It should go smooth because she's coming from a great place.
Right.
But based on this woman's resume, I'm not sure how it will end and if she'll just allow it to end on a peaceful note. So maybe she even needs to end it with, she's just trying to make sure that on her special day that she's happy and nothing gets in the way of that. Because right. At the end of the day, it's about her.
Can you imagine? I mean, I can't imagine being this person. Do you know what I mean? When I go to a wedding, I spend the whole time being like, don't be that guy, don't be that guy, don't get right. Too drunk, don't be the delusion to get in an argument with anyone at a wedding. If someone started yelling at me, I go, no, I'm sorry. I would immediately fold like a chair.
Yeah. It's a wedding. You don't want to be the person because it's like you're the person that ruins everything. One bad
Right.
thing at a wedding, and now it just feels like everything's wrong, and
Right.
it's all your fault.
It's JTrainPodcast@gmail.com, JTrainPodcast@gmail.com, here with Paris Sashay. Go follow TikTok, Instagram @Paris Sashay. That's wild. That's the special. How to shoot your shot. Paris, I feel like you're the perfect person to be on this episode.
Let's do it.
I'm a single 26-year-old girl who's been living in LA for about 6 months now. When I first moved here, I got on the apps and things were going great. I was going on dates, meeting great guys, and having some good hookups along the way. Yet now the apps are drier than the Sahara Desert. Every time I match with a guy, I send the first message and start the same way. Hey, big question for you. This normally leads to an initial response, and I'll send a jokey question like, picture this, we're out at dinner. What shared appetizer are you lobbying for? Sometimes I get a response with an eventual fizzle, or I get no response at all. With this lack of engagement, I decided I want to do things differently, and this is where you and fill-in guest's name, Paris Sashay, come to help.
Okay.
I'm trying to shoot my shot in the best way possible. So I'd love some ideas on how to draw a guy in and actually want to talk in a few different scenarios. Okay, approaching men in the wild. This is something I'm actually challenging myself to do this year. Okay, Paris, she has a few examples. So approaching people in the wild, sliding into the Instagram DMs, sending the first message on a dating app. She wants strategies for it. And this is a very specific type of person. I can even tell by their opening line on the dating app where they've basically made it, when you make it the same for everybody, this person is looking to, how do I, they want efficiency. And that might not be the best strategy. What do you think?
Yeah, I think she's just trying to just get all the options, but I think that everybody likes to be approached based on that person.
Right.
And I feel like that's a bit, just to ask about appetizers, I don't even think that that's like a conversation starter for a lot of people. To some people, you might read that and be like, I don't want to talk about this right now. She has to reel them in prior, and then I feel like that's a conversation once you guys are in.
Right. Paris, how old are you?
I'm 31.
So I'm 38. We are of a similar generation. We are all special snowflakes. We love efficiency, but if you notice, just look at the companies that advertise on this podcast. A lot of the companies are, take our quiz and we're going to make the best shampoo for you. Take our quiz and we'll send you the right clothes to fit your everyday. Everything is tailored. And this person is approaching in a non-tailored way. When you say to everyone, hey, I got a big question for you, and it looks like this automated thing, you go, you're going to get back what you're giving to them, which is, again, drier than the Sahara Desert, as they reference.
Yeah, it's kind of like sending a group message. She's kind of just like sending a group, good morning, beautiful, to all of the people she have in her phone. So I would think that she has to make it per person. So whether that's her doing research on their page, seeing what they're into. For guys, shooting your shot, I feel like it's different because if he's into sports, you can make up some type of conversation leading to sports. To some men, that grabs them because they comment. I'm interested.
You cut out for a second. What did you say?
Some men don't expect women to be into sports. So if she looks at a guy page and she sees you into sports, say something about sports. That'll grab his attention because it's like, oh, she's into sports and I didn't expect that.
This is a good point. And to make it on the sports thing, if if their profile, they have they're at a tailgate wearing a Bills jersey, talk about the Bills. This is the thing. I think get into I think male, female, whatever, like Paris, if I saw you in a bar, I would go, I love your sunglasses.
Yes.
Where did you get them? And you would either say, you would either give an answer and turn away from me because you're not interested, Or you would say, oh, I got him here. Thank you so much. Oh, what do you would continue the conversation if there was interest.
Yes.
You would go, oh, person talking to me that I am now taking. There's a live swipe right going on when you continue the conversation.
Right, because it's direct. Like if she was shooting her shot at you and you have this Dallas hat on, I like the hat. The hat is really nice. So it's like, are you a Dallas fan? And now you're leading the way of making it personal per person.
Exactly. And now, because we all our dating profiles especially are an art project. You put it together. You found the pictures. You did the different, you edited the pictures. You put your answers. This person needs to be specific. And it's the same advice to the DMs. It's the same advice to the dating app. It's the same advice in person. Hey, love your glasses. Hey, what Bills game did you go to? I love the Bills. Hey, in the Instagram DMs. Hey, as I said to the widow, you seem fun. I went to that place over there. We have to remember all the things we are putting out to the world aren't put out by accident. They're not put out without editing. All of these are brand decisions. So when you acknowledge that you like something that they've put out to the world, you're going, wow, it's a true compliment. Here's a good example. And Paris, I think you'll understand this. When you post a stand-up video on the internet and someone goes, I like the shirt you're wearing, I'm always like, fuck off. That's not why I put up this fucking video. Do you know what I mean?
But they're trying to get your attention because I feel like they know everybody else is talking about stand-up. So let me stand out and tell you, not only did I laugh because I watched it, I like your shirt.
Well, that's the thing. If you have to acknowledge the important thing. You might miss, but we do like when we put out a stand-up video, we are putting it out for people to like the stand-up. So when someone responds, nice arms to me on my, I'm like, I'm not turned on by that. I'm not like, ooh, nice arms. No, thank God this did what I wanted. It's done nothing for me. It didn't get me a new stand-up fan. It got me someone who liked my arms no matter what. I'm annoyed.
That's true, because that's not what you was looking for. Yeah.
No, but when you're on a dating app and you put up these pictures, you're looking for, oh, I love your shirt. Oh, I love your response. Oh, that's so funny. Your Hinge prompt was hilarious. You're playing to their ego, and which is, listen, I'm not telling you to lie to someone, but you obviously like their profile enough to want to talk to them. So give me the reason you wanted to talk to them.
Right. Just be direct per man that you're trying to talk to. Figure out about them and talk to them based on them. What's in their profile? What are they into? Not just a general message, because I feel like you can even, when someone sends a general message, you can kind of read it and be like, oh, this is what people send to everybody.
Totally.
You can feel that.
I don't feel special. Trim back the grass around those Easter eggs with Manscaped. The Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to shape up, and right now it's 20% off. The package includes the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and even a travel bag. I love Manscaped because, as men, we don't have the opportunity to kind of go through the store and get all the cool little products and feel good. That's why a lot of guys don't do it. It's not really a fun experience for them. This makes the getting groomed experience a fun. It turns your bathroom into a spa that you never even knew it could be. I have all of this stuff. I use it. I love it. It's a great gift for the guy in your life, and it motivates you. As you know, that sounds weird, but it's true. You're only motivated to kind of take care of yourself when you have the cool products that you want to use to take care of yourself. You know, if you're sitting there with a skin care routine, yeah, you bought all this stuff, you want to use it. I think the same goes for a lot of the men in your life. They would love this. April is also Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. Manscaped has teamed up with the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to men's health and early cancer detection as part of their We Save Balls initiative. Testicular cancer is the most common form of cancer in men ages 15 to 35. One man every hour, every day is diagnosed. Take care of your balls with Manscaped and be sure to check for cancer at least once a month. So get 20% off and free shipping with code JTrain at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code JTrain. Hop into the best deal of the year with Manscaped. JTrain podcast at gmail.com, JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Here with Paris Sashay. Go follow immediately. You got time for a couple more?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, we got, 2 more to go. Okay, you ready?
Okay. Let's go.
This one's called Shamed Conolingus.
Oh, wow.
Jared, I'm writing to you from Paris.
Uh-oh.
What a coincidence. I've told all my international friends and French friends to listen to both podcasts, You Up and JTrain. On to the topic. I've been seeing this French guy for a month now. We are both in our mid-20s. Last weekend, I asked him for oral sex, and he said, okay. Did you take a shower? I was immediately annoyed. I told him no one has ever asked me that, and to forget that I asked. I was pissed. He explained he read about conolingus on Reddit, and he didn't think his question was wrong. Everything about this is wrong. On Reddit, I'm gonna tell you, I don't think I'm going to tell you right now, you didn't miss out on much. The guy who says I read about conolingus on Reddit, I don't think he's going to go down on you well. If I'm going to play the numbers, right? And he said he didn't think the question was wrong, but he said he was sorry. Now, I know you can't tell me how to feel. However, do you think making those comments is acceptable? I don't know how not to be offended when someone says something like that. Thoughts? What do you think, Paris Sashay?
I think it was wrongly played because they weren't even face to face yet.
What do you mean? Like, they weren't even like they weren't face to vagina yet.
No, they were. So they were talking like in person, or was this a conversation had?
I guess last weekend she asked him for oral sex and he said, okay, did you take a shower? So maybe they're like making out. The only way that question, I don't know. I don't think they were at coffee and she was like, would you like to lick my pussy?
Okay,
like, I don't
so
think
they
that
were
was
together. Yeah, no, I think it was wrong. I think it was all wrong. I feel like it was a better way. He could have got in the shower. He could have said, I'm going to take a shower. Do you want to join me?
Right. There's a sex. that is a question I would never ask. I'm there to eat, like, right. I don't know. Like, what?
Yeah, no, even as a gay woman, I don't,
that's what I'm wondering.
I couldn't see myself act because I feel like when you say it in your mind before you even say it out loud, it feels wrong. Right. Even
it's uncomfortable.
Building up the fact to even say, did you take, because that's all, it's an insult. Maybe not a direct one from his point of view, but it's still an insult because it's like, why are you asking about a shower? That means something's going on in your mind that you're like, you don't think that it's as clean as it can be.
Right. And let me, I guess, empathize with the murderer here is French people are this way.
Okay.
I've met French people where they say things and I'm like, I don't like the way the thing you just said felt. I think we have a lot more bedside manner in this country. I think we're a lot more, especially with language barriers. I'm not sure if they were speaking in French or in English. Maybe, I don't know what the nicer way to say this is. Like, I don't know what he could have, if there was a language. Like, I wouldn't know how to say, are you ready for the conolingus in French? Like my version of this in French would be like, lick cat now? Like it would like sound like Quando el baño. Like it would be very But so I don't know the language here. So I'm thinking of all the ways that this isn't an evil person. I don't think it's appropriate. I don't think, listen, to reverse it, if I was talking to a woman and I just had gone down on her or whatever, and then she's like, did you shower? I'd be like, I wouldn't take it as personally, but I would go, well, no, I would get self-conscious. I absolutely.
I think that's the only way to get, because it's just a random, no matter, and what makes it worse is his follow-up that he read it on Reddit. I think that makes it even worse, because then not only did she feel self-conscious, but to know that it had nothing to do with her and it was because of something you read on Reddit, that's even crazier.
Right. Well, then I feel lucky for not having gotten blown or gone down on by that person. I'm like, wait, you read Reddit? Like, I don't want to know what incel fucking thread this guy's on. Reading about, like, when you read about the idea of going down on someone, that means you're probably not a fun participant for the going down, and you've probably dodged a bullet. You know, like,
yes.
To me, the Reddit thing is just ugh. Like, and it does make you feel like you're not a human.
Right. Yeah, it definitely takes away from that as a woman. So I feel like she dodged the bullet, and I honestly truly believe that the head probably would have been bad, because it makes me think that he read how to give head, and that's not how you learn. You got to get in the game, sir.
And good sex is messy. And if this guy is sitting there being like, do you have napkins? I'd be like, get out of here. We're digging in.
Right. You got to find a guy who likes to dig in.
Right. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Paris, we're going to do one more. This has been so much fun. I want everyone to go follow Paris immediately at Paris Sashay. That's wild. That's the special. It's on YouTube. You can watch it right now. It's so funny. I'm a huge fan, so I want everyone to go watch it. Coupleship needs unfulfilled. Okay, let's hear it. Aloha, Jared and guests. Thank you for sharing your medicine and making me laugh to and from work. Hope you come to Hawaii soon. Have you ever been to Hawaii?
I have not.
Me neither. My husband and I are 34 and 38, no kids. We have lived in our small rural town for the past 2 years. Making friends has been difficult, but we met a young couple around our age. The first year we moved here, it was my husband's colleague and her fiance. Okay, so they work together and her fiance. They are in their late 20s and a decade younger than my husband. There are some references to music and movies that just fly over their heads. I find it hilarious. Fast forward 2 years, my husband and I don't feel like we're any closer in our couple friendship than we were the first day we met. It doesn't bother me so much, except that we committed to being guests at their wedding and welcome dinner, and now my husband wants to be cheap on a gift. I get it. Friendship takes time and effort. We were indecisive on the invite to begin with, but now I feel this need to prove myself as a wedding gift giver to keep our relationship going. My husband, on the other hand, is stale because this couple hasn't invited us over to meet any of their friends and feels like they haven't put in as much effort to be friends as we have. We host dinners for them, invite them out to events, to meet our family members, and other gatherings we do. The gestures and efforts are not reciprocated. My husband is not down to spend what I think is an appropriate amount for a wedding gift. Should we do cash and call it a day? They don't have a registry, so I was thinking of a Yeti backpack cooler as my gift, but my husband thinks this is too much, and a John Boo's butcher block would be better suited. And he is definitely against giving cash. He thinks it's tacky. Help. What's the move? How do we signal we want to grow this coupleship? Do you think this couple is embarrassed to hang with us and their older friends? How do we unite as a couple to give an appropriate wedding gift without being the cranky, awkward, fighting couple on their wedding day? Mahalo, the older friends with benefits. What do you think about this? It's interesting.
It is. It's very interesting. It doesn't sound like it's intentionally been done. I feel like they're young and they're probably just they just probably into two different things.
Right. I you know what you said, they're young. It's funny that this person's like, maybe they're embarrassed of us because we're old. No, they're acting that way because they're young. Like
right.
when
It's
you're in
really
your
them.
20s, you have a wider net of friends. You have less friends with babies and less friends with, things going on. So you have this like bigger circle. When you're late 30s, as this person put it, you're in a rural town, like you are in the mode of like, hey, we want to find some new friends. We're looking to like spice up our group. Most of our friends have moved on. They got kids. They don't have kids. So I'm assuming that these people just don't like. I don't think. I think the younger couple doesn't think of them. That's right. And it's a somewhat of an immaturity, and it's also like that might hurt to hear, but like. You're inviting them to family events. Like these younger people don't even have a family event to invite you to.
No. And the things they're probably doing, they're probably actually thinking they're respecting you by not inviting them to do the wild things that you do in your 20s.
Right. And I don't know. It's weird to me to like relate this to like what gift we give. I think like, hey, to go back, they included you in their wedding and on the wedding night. To me, that is their things to include you on.
Yes, I agree. I think because they didn't have to. They could have just invited you.
Right. So to me, they're now making that effort that they have the ability to make. Like, I don't think they have the events that you have. Like, listen, the couple that's been together a while usually has like, oh, we do these things these certain ways. This is a young couple that's not even married yet. They don't have their events set up for the year. They don't have the family thing that they could slide you into as much as maybe you do. So I gotta say, they are making an effort by having you at the pre-wedding party. Like,
and I think the fact that they even go to the events that they invite them to, I think it's making it clear that they're friends, but they just do friendship two different ways because there's an age difference. Right.
And I think you guys need to let this go a little bit, to be honest. And I would also like cash. I don't think cash is tacky. I don't think a check is tacky for a wedding gift. I don't think the butcher block versus the cooler. I don't think either of those gifts, like, I don't think they're like, wow, a butcher block. They really fucked us and don't think we're as big of friends. Like, I don't think they're going to think that.
Yeah, I think they'll be happy with whatever they give them. I think they should just give them what they feel. I don't even think they should think so much about it. Like, whatever you feel they deserve, that's what you give them.
Right, and be happy you gave it as a couple. Like, I don't want any IOUs with a gift. I hate that. And I think like, and that's kind of what they're doing with their invites to all their events. All their events, they're like, well, where's our event invite? And then when they get the invite, they go, well, that's weird. You never have us over the house. It's like, when's it good enough for you?
That's what I was going to say. I think this is the big invite that they've been wishing they've been had, but this is the only big event that they could have invited you guys to, because what they do, you probably would not even want to attend. Think about in your 20s what you did.
Nothing.
The wildest things.
Right. I the wildest things, and it was 7 minutes before I did it. Like I planned it the hour before I did it. Like these people are planning event. I didn't plan shit in my 20s. What are you kidding me?
Nothing.
Reservations? Go fuck yourself. I don't think they're being empathetic to their spot in life, and I think they need to like get over it in a certain sense.
Yeah, I think they should just be okay with the idea of the friendship, but take away the idea of we did this, you guys have to do this, because then you're going to be upset, because that's the intentions you're going in with already, and the 20-somethings are not thinking about what you're thinking about.
This is the scariest part about getting in a relationship, is like this couple, the person who wrote in, thank you for the email. I think it's a great email, but I would say like, well, this is what you do with your significant other. You hype each other up. You go, yeah, they didn't invite us, and they did invite us, and we invite them to everything, and they're pieces of shit. We're not going to give them the cooler. And you're like, this is the bubble of a relationship, and I hope we gave them some outside perspective.
I hope so. I hope so, and I hope it works out, and you guys take whatever you would like to take to the wedding as the gift.
That's right. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Paris Sashay, you're amazing. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you so much.
Everyone go follow Paris at Paris Sashay on TikTok and on Instagram. Go watch the special. It's called That's Wild. I'm Jared Freid. We're here every Monday with your emails. We'll be back next week. Boom.